We are Guys in Shorts, your weekly podcast and YouTube show for all the good stuff going on in sports, entertainment, and pop culture. We are coming to you yet again this week from our own respective quarantines like responsible adults. The good news about that is we figured out how to upload the video onto YouTube, and by we, I mean me. So now you can check out this episode on our YouTube channel. And Vic, we just search it, right, and find anybody can find the YouTube channel. There's nothing special to that. All right.
No special keys or anything.
On the show this week, Ben's going to give us some trending news stories. While trending news stories might normally sound boring, remember, these are coming from Ben, so you know they're good. Unless they're about reality TV. There's no reality TV in this.
I don't think
right?
there is one in this batch.
Yeah, I think this is going to be good stuff.
Disappointed in that.
I am not, Darren. Careful what you're asking for. Also, Vic wants to tell us all about a new service called Quibi.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to hearing about that. Plus, we're going to play a round of Gilligan's Quarantine. This is a little game. I think it's kind of been going around, but we're doing a modified version of it. You know what? And you're just going to have to keep listening to find out what it is. Gentlemen, let's pod. I'm Jeff Wilson, and that is Victor Costello.
Hey, guys. I just killed a man. I put a gun to his head, pulled my trigger. Now he's dead.
Mama.
And you know what? Life had just begun, but now I've gone, thrown it all away.
I don't want to die. Well done. Love the image, by the way. Hey,
Thank you.
Benjamin Garcia.
Hoop-de-hoo.
Yes. Love that picture as well. And the king of Game of Thrones himself there, Mr. Darren Besa.
Well, Victor, after hearing that and sitting here on the Iron Throne, I'm going to have to put you in jail for about 50 years. Or off with your head.
Well played, sir.
So I know I got mocked last week for my lack of a background, and I do want to tell you I did figure out how to put an image behind me, but my wife's laptop apparently needs an update, and I couldn't get it done. So instead of that, I happened to, as I was cleaning my garage earlier today, find the backdrop from our wedding. So I figured, Oh, that's nice. That's real nice.
Hold on. You didn't have enough time to download an update on your computer, but you had enough time to set up that with the lighting system and the whole idea of turning it on the show?
Ben, it's Christmas lights. I have these handy all the time.
But you still have to hang them.
No, it was already hung. It was my wedding backdrop. It was just, it just happened to be rolled up, ready to go in the garage.
And Jeff, I love the Griswold touch there. That was good.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for quarantine to be over. We have nothing to talk about.
Oh, Ben. Come on.
Quarantine
this is going to be good
suck.
stuff. We got plenty
For the
to
record,
talk about.
I want to tell the listeners that I suggested that we take a hiatus while we're going on, while this is going on.
Oh, come on. Nobody's
This is killing me.
Nobody's listening anyway. That's fine.
That's true.
Nobody, because nobody's commuting to work, right?
Yeah.
How you guys doing okay? Everybody good?
Yeah, everyone's good here.
All right.
Hanging in there.
All right.
I'm glad to hear from you two because I'm struggling. I mean, my kids are older. They're 13. They're 11. They need so much attention, and they just get bored so easily, and they just come bugging me. I'm sick of the we wake up at 11 o'clock in the morning. We go to bed at 1 o'clock at night.
Wait, don't you work still?
Well, I do, yeah.
Does Darren ever really work, though?
Do you start at noon or what?
Yeah, pretty much. Make a few phone calls, and I'm done like around 3 o'clock.
That's nice.
Well done, sir. Well done.
I love it.
But it's rough.
I have some exciting news to share.
Yeah.
I was able today to get toilet paper and paper towels without leaving my house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Where'd you get it from?
I checked. Of course, Costco, there's no way you're getting it from Costco. There's no way you're getting it from Amazon. Amazon deliveries are, you can't even get a delivery from them. I tried the Vaughn's app, the Pavilions. I mean, that's the same one. I tried Shipped. Shipped doesn't have any deliveries. So I went to Postmates, and Postmates, they do stores also. So
Yeah.
I picked the store closest that I thought maybe might have the best shot at having toilet paper or paper towels. The guy messaged me. He says, they're out. They said they might be getting some in on Friday. And I said, in your travels, have you come across any paper towel or toilet paper? And we're down to about a week left where, I want to have it in stock in case things get really bad, right? So,
Right.
like, I was starting to, turn to, code yellow, not quite code brown, but code yellow. And so,
Not code red, code brown.
that's right. And so he says, well, there's a Dollar Tree and a Rite Aid right next door. I'll check those for you. I was like, thank you so much. He checks them. They don't have it. He says, well, I'll tell you what. He messaged me back. He says, I'll tell you what. Give me your number, and if I come across any, I'll give you a call. I was like, that's perfect. Absolutely. So like an hour later, he's like, I'm at Target checking out. Just Venmo me the money. This is how much it is. He takes a picture of the receipt. It was kind of on an honor system kind of thing. But and then he brought it to my house. It was perfect.
And
That's awesome.
And you guys say I'm entitled. This guy has somebody going to Target and everywhere
I gotta be
looking
honest.
for toilet paper for you.
I did feel very basa when I did that.
Oh, I don't even go
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But you could.
Look, this is to protect my pregnant wife at home.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
Yeah, a little, heightened, rightly so, I suppose. So anyway, let's get into some news, shall we, Ben? You ready?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. I'd say we start with the first story you sent, which is awesome. Kyle Walker apologizes after reports of sex party during quarantine.
So, okay, I figure this would be a great time to have Eric on, and unfortunately, he's no longer on the show.
Who?
But
Never heard of him.
the guy Kyle Walker, was it Kyle Walker? You said I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, I think it's Kyle Walker.
So he's
Looks
apparently
like a
he's a
soccer
soccer player somewhere,
Yeah.
and just like most famous people, what they try to do is they go on Twitter, they go on Instagram, and they tell their fans, hey, stay home, quarantine, do it safe for your family, all that kind of stuff. So this guy, Kyle Walker, that's what he was doing. Yet for that night, he had a plan where him and a friend hired 2 escorts to basically get together and have sex. Two people that he doesn't know. And it gets out. And so then apparently, he goes on an apology tour like everybody does when something like that happens.
Of course.
And apparently the football club is going to be looking at suspending him because of the fact that he's a role model and a leader and all that kind of stuff. And I just found it to be two-faced and funny. It's such a guy thing to do. It's like, you got, it's like what your parents see and who you are when your parents aren't around when you're a kid. It's like the public face is to say, hey, let's do what's right. Let's do what's best for the country, best for the world. Yet at the same time, you still have these urges and you're like, well, fuck that. I need to go out and get some. So I just thought it was pretty funny.
It is funny. How did that news leak out?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, I
no,
think it's...
here's my take on it. Here's my take on it. First of all, he plays for Manchester United, which is probably the most popular football team out in Europe, probably Premier League. And
In the Premier League, yeah.
Premier League. And I have no problem necessarily with having a sex party. My issue is that he had escorts. He could walk into any bar in the UK and they would know him. They know how much he makes because he's probably making bank. And he could walk out there with any one of those girls on his hand. But yet he has to get 2 escorts?
Well, probably because all the bars are closed right now, right?
And the other thing that you get with escorts is you get a little bit of exclusivity, right? So like you're paying for a service. So you're supposedly going to get a girl that doesn't go on IG and say, hey, guess who I was with last night, and get, sneak pictures when you fall asleep and that kind of stuff. It's a professional transaction, right? I mean, it's honestly why Robert Kraft, it's why Robert Kraft and these guys, they have like their, the girls that they go to. And unfortunately, every once in a while you get caught up in something like that. You just never know what's going to happen. Elliot Spitzer, client number 9, same thing. It's like, that's what you're paying for when you go to one of those things.
I like the chase. I'm paying an escort. I'm not chasing.
I'm with you, Darren. I like being shut down and feeling that glow of victory when you actually get it.
Yeah.
Just a quick correction. I do believe he plays for Manchester City, not Manchester United.
Okay.
And tomato.
I didn't know there was a difference. Yeah.
And the article did not say.
If you're a Laker fan and somebody says Clippers, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
Whoa, don't go there.
Back, and the article did not say how he was caught. It just said that the news got out.
Yeah, gotcha. Let's move on. Wait, you know what? Before we do, though, Ben, I think I need to join you, my friend, and crack one of these guys open.
Paps.
You know what? Next time I go to the
Lord.
store, Jeff, I'm going to buy me some Paps.
That's horrible.
That really is bad.
It feels like the lake right there.
Hey, Jeff, how does this make you feel?
Wait a second.
I miss it.
Wait a second. Oh.
Yep.
That's mine and Jeff's boat out on the water last summer.
Lake Mojave. Yep. Love it. Love it. All right. Moving on. Next headline: how a discovery that brought us Viagra could help those battling the coronavirus. Ben, thoughts?
All right.
How'd
So
this happen?
I'm pulling up the article right now because I forgot the name of the actual drug itself. It's called nitric oxide. So apparently nitric oxide, when you breathe it in, it helps your body absorb more oxygen, right? So when they're the little babies, when they're prematurely born, they'll kind of put this in their nose to allow them to bring in more oxygen, and it's a life-saving drug. And so one of the benefits to it is that it can cause boners, which is why it was placed in Viagra. And so the headline of the article basically says that the same active drug in Viagra may be able to save your lives during coronavirus. And so we've all heard about people who have these lung issues and they're not able to breathe, they're not able to accept oxygen. So right now they're doing a trial where these people that are, need ventilation and they need these life-saving devices, they're having them basically take hits of this nitric oxide, and it's relieving some of that congestion where, when people come in, rather than putting them into emergency, they're giving them the shot of nitric oxide and having them walk out. So, you got to give it to these medical professionals that really know, what these drugs do and what their benefits are, because, I would have never thought that, potentially popping a Viagra might help you breathe a little bit better. But I guess if those of you who have Viagra at home and you start having some COVID symptoms, just pop one of those and see if it helps out. It ain't going to hurt anything.
Yeah. Who would have thought? That's amazing.
Is nitric oxide that same gas that they put in cars, like what Dominic Toretto in Fast and the
I think
Furious?
that's nitrous.
Nitrous.
Oh, is that different?
Darren, don't act like you don't
yeah,
know.
come on.
Don't act
Come on,
like you
Darren.
don't know. You had that on
Darren's
your
got
car
tanks
in
in
high
his
school.
Escalade right now.
Oh, man. Good stuff. That is very interesting.
All right, let's be honest. How many of you guys actually tried Viagra?
I haven't,
You guys ever,
actually.
you guys ever pop a pill?
Look at
No.
Jeff.
It's not a... There's a story,
Come on, Jeff.
but I'm not sharing it. I don't think I'm ready for that.
Well, I was going to
ready to
say,
open
I
up
know
that
that
much.
I've got one in my drawer in my bedroom, and it was given to me by Jeff. It's probably expired by like 15
Get out of
years,
here.
but
No, you don't.
I still have it.
That never
You know-
happened.
You know what's the best thing about Jeff's background
Wait,
is he
is
could have
that
just
true?
It is true.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Viagra. It's like some
Oh,
knockoff.
yeah, it's some knockoff. It's a story with a coworker of mine, a male coworker who was a
Oh, of
little on
course.
the shady side and and happened to get these knockoff drugs and would just share them.
happen to get. The best part about your backdrop, Jeff, is you could have literally just stood there and it would have made you look like you had your screen had frozen and you couldn't answer the question. But your twinkling lights in the background give you away, like because you for like a good 4 or 5 seconds you just stood there. And
Yeah.
it looked like your screen froze, and then I saw the background. I'm like, nope. He's still on. He's still there.
I debated for a few seconds whether to answer the question, but I'm going to save that one. I have a
saw it
son
with your
on the way.
face. You can't lie with your face. Jeff's sitting there going like this.
Seriously.
I can't lie.
Yeah.
I am a terrible liar. Worst liar.
I'm gonna call up shipmates and request Jeff to bring me some blue pills.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean shipped?
Whatever.
You're calling the bar in Cerritos? What?
Oh,
doing?
yes.
He said shipmates.
That's where Kyle Walker
dude.
goes. That
Dude,
shipmates.
you're officially the oldest one. You have passed Victor. You called Tiger King Lion King last week.
I did,
shipped
yeah.
as shipmates.
Well, that's what quarantine does to you.
Well, I don't know if you can blame that on quarantine.
Well, I do.
Moving on.
I'm sick of it.
Nebraska man breaks into UFC contender's house, somehow lasts 5 minutes in ensuing fight. This is fantastic news.
Yeah. This one shocked me. So the UFC fighter's name is Anthony Smith. And let's see here. I'll just kind of read you a section here. It says, a fight soon ensued. Smith, who lost the light heavyweight championship to John Jones last March. Now, this is John Jones. This isn't like some UFC fighter that you've never heard of, right? So this guy fought John Jones last year, or I'm sorry, a month ago, and called it one of the toughest fights of his life. It says, that's from ESPN. Per Smith, the fight ended up lasting more than 5 minutes, with police eventually subduing and arresting Haberman. Smith and his family were uninjured, though blood was all over the computer room, and Haberman had cuts and swelling on his face. Basically, he goes on to say is that, every time that he had this guy down, the guy would just get up and continue to fight. And you would think that, once you've got a guy fighting back in his own house, unless you've got a weapon, you pretty much say, all right, I'm going to get the hell out of here. But the guy continued to get up and continue to fight. And so I'm thinking to myself, maybe it's just the tight quarters, maybe because, rooms are relatively, tight and furniture's tight, that the UFC fighter doesn't have the space to actually do the things that he knows how to do. But I mean, that must be one tough dude, or he must have been on drugs or something like that. Because you don't hear stories like that.
It's going to be drugs. I almost guarantee you the drugs is going to come out, because that's what happens when they get tased and they get shot or whatever it is, and they just get up again and keep going where a normal person would be down for the count. I can guarantee you the guy was hopped up on some kind of drugs.
My dad told me a story, and I don't know how. I mean, this was 30 years ago, because I remember being a kid. And I don't know if it was just a story, that was made up or something, but he told me that at one point, and I don't know if it was in his childhood or maybe it was happening at the time where I was a kid, there was like a light heavyweight or a lightweight champion, right? Some boxer that was, 105, 115 pounds or something. And he goes to a bar and some big 250-pound dude starts talking shit. And then, the boxer basically says, hey, man, I don't want to have anything to do with you. And, of course, the more he tries to back off to not make it an incident, the big guy, steps up even more to look bravado in front of all of his buddies like, yeah, I can kick this guy's ass. Yeah. And it got to a point where the light boxer basically just punched him one time and laid him out, and it wasn't until, charges were filed against him for fighting because his hands are considered deadly weapons. Deadly weapons, yeah. That the judge, when it goes to the judge throws the case out and says, this is bullshit. This is what you get for picking on a guy that's half your size, and so it goes to show you when you're trained at being able to do something at a professional level, you should be above and beyond everybody else. And so this UFC guy fighting a John Jones, just it shouldn't have ever lasted 30 seconds. And so the fact that it did, and the guy comes out and tells the stories I've been in the ring all these times, and here I am fighting for my life, fighting for my family's lives, and this guy goes with me for 5 minutes. The guy must have been scared out of his effing mind.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Oh man.
Uh-oh.
Is he cage? Do you think he's cage? What's the word? You know how there's gym strong and then there's real world strong? There's those guys that are ripped, but you put them in the wilderness.
Strongest man competitions. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're sissies. They can't handle they're strong in the gym, but not in the real world. I mean, do you think there's an element to that?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think
drugs.
so. Not at all.
I think it has to
I think
be.
Vic is right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Rodney King when he got beat. Like no normal human being, when they get hit with a nightstick and all that kind of stuff, continue to get up and continue to try to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like when you're on drugs and the mind is just not completely understanding what that body is going through. Police will say, like, we know that this guy's on drugs. And so Vic or Darren, I don't know who mentioned it first, but that was the first thought that I had, where the guy just had to be on drugs.
Yeah.
What drugs are we guessing? I'm going with bath salts.
PCP.
Oh, PCP. Yeah.
I'm going to say meth.
Oh, I'm going to say nitrous oxide.
Isn't that what you put in your car?
Did the guy have a boner, Darren?
That's what Dominic Toretto puts in his car.
Oh, man. All right. Shall we move on to the next story, Ben?
Before we do, I just want to say that I'm so glad that this coronavirus seems to be kind of coming out of the news now, because I'm able to actually find articles, even though some of them are coronavirus related. They bring levity to the situation. Like 2 weeks ago, everything that I read was about how the world was going to end. And now we're getting stories of UFC fighters. We're getting stories of boner drugs saving coronavirus victims. Like, it's just nice to get some of that normalcy back.
I feel like that's about our country's attention span with any, big hard hitting news that comes up is about 2 months tops. I feel like that's been about what it is. No, not even. It hasn't even been two months with coronavirus.
I was going to say Deflategate lasted like a year.
Well, that's different. That's the NFL. those fools be loving their storylines.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And they carry through.
Yeah.
All right, I think I got one more, right?
You got two more, my friend.
Oh, two more.
And honestly, I'm excited for the last one. But before we get there, smoking marijuana could make the lungs more susceptible to COVID-19, experts say, as cannabis sales spike.
So one of the things that wasn't mentioned in the article, basically the headline exactly describes the next two paragraphs, because nowadays when you get a Yahoo article, it's 3 paragraphs long, so you can read it in under 2 minutes. Otherwise, you won't read it. One of the things that it didn't point out was vaping. If you guys remember, about 6 months to a year ago, there were stories all over the news about kids that were teenagers and early 20s that were vaping all the time, and that they were dying because whatever that water molecular structure that goes into their lungs, it was blocking the pores, and they weren't able to absorb the oxygen. And so, I didn't think about it, but when they tell you the people who have pre-existing conditions, right? And so we all think about the heart, we all think about cancer, we all think about those types of things, but the area that it attacks is the lungs itself, right? This is a respiratory infection. And so I didn't think about it, but smokers and marijuana users, they're constantly burning and they're constantly hurting the inside of your lungs. And so, if you were to get this, the article basically says is that you have a much higher likelihood of having bad symptoms. And it also said because, you may have not necessarily infection, but you're going to have areas in the lung area itself that your body is constantly repairing, meaning that you are, your immune system is weaker than somebody who doesn't smoke. And so, when you hear all the stories of the younger people that are dying, they don't tell you statistically how many were smokers. They don't tell you how many were marijuana smokers. They don't tell you how many people were obese. What they do is they report to you and they say, we had a 25-year-old that died, last year or last week because of this coronavirus. I'd be curious to know what the statistics show with the under 30 years old people who were they or were they not smokers, etc. So it was just interesting to me. And for those of you listening, if you are smoking, maybe this is a good opportunity to think twice about it and say, hey, maybe this is the opportunity where I can't go out and go buy cigarettes to actually quit for good.
Yeah.
Not to get all serious, but I mean, you do make a really good point, and you realize, smoking. You might feel fine, and maybe you've been a lifelong smoker, and maybe you don't die of lung cancer, but it's stuff like this, like COVID-19 or even other things where you want to be in the best shape
Yeah.
possible
I had
to withstand that stuff. Chemotherapy, for all of us that are going to get cancer, it runs in my family. I'm probably going to get it. I got to stay in shape so that I can put that fight up whenever it hits me, because that's, oh man, we're sounding old. Gosh dang it.
Well, so to even sound a little bit older, so, here I am, I'm 42 years old. When I was in my early to mid 20s, when I started working for my company, I had a really good friend of mine who was a motorcycle rider, and he was like a 3-pack a day smoker. And I mean, literally, like, anytime he had the opportunity, he was smoking. I mean, I think he'd wake up in the middle of the night to have a drag of a few cigarettes and then go back to sleep. That's how bad he was. And one day he was riding his motorcycle to work, and he was splitting lanes. And as he was splitting, there was a car that was going to make a lane change, and the person's side mirror hit his handlebars. So he goes over the handlebars, slides. He was wearing all of his gear, but he slides between the tires of a fully loaded semi-truck who was sitting in dead traffic, traffic was now starting to move. So the truck actually rolls right over the top of his midsection.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
And as people are yelling at the truck driver to stop, but hear me out, right? So what ends up happening was the wheels go over his body, and then people tell the driver, stop, back up. So then he backs up off of him, right? So it's almost like rolling over him twice. So he goes into the hospital, and it wasn't that almost killed him. It was the fact that his lungs were so bad off that it made his recovery twice as long.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, I don't know if he ever went back to smoking or not, because, over the years we've lost contact. But, even at a young age, if something, happens to you, it severely reduces the likelihood that you're going to make a full recovery. And so, you may get enjoyment out of it. Yeah, you may get a little bit high and be able to enjoy watching The Matrix a little bit more. But, in the long run, is it really worth it?
Wait, what?
So random. Well played, my friend.
Thank you. The more you know.
Yes. Dun, 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 dun.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. And an important message, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Don't smoke. Okay. Last one. This is a good one. Illinois mayor sends police to break up parties. They find his wife at one of them. It's so great.
So you read the article, and again, it's damn Yahoo, right? Like, and this is the reason why people don't read the article, because when you read the headline, it totally ruins the story for you. Because, I mean, that's essentially what happened. So he's the governor of a small city, and he's thinking to himself, like, I need to do what's best for the constituency. And what I think that the funny part is that you would think, like, for me, if I'm the mayor of any city and I'm going to make a decision like this, I'm probably going to talk it through with my wife the night before and say, here are the pros, here are the cons. What do you think? What would you do in my situation? Just because you want a sounding board, somebody to have that conversation with, right? And so you would think that if you're the wife and you hear this, the last thing that you're going to go do is go to a party the next day when it's going to become enforced, right? So what it tells me is that he probably doesn't have a good relationship with his wife, right? Or the other thing is that maybe he knew that she'd be out at a party, and he was just looking for a reason to be like, screw this bitch, I need her out, right?
Yeah.
All right. I like this one better.
And so anyway, that was the thought that I had. So he goes out, he says, okay, we're effective as of today, we're going to do this. He goes out and he finds a wife, and then after the fact, you would think that when you're in a position of power, you could probably say, hey, police department, just kind of sweep this under the rug, whatever. But he went out publicly and he says, no, she broke the law. She's gonna serve time or whatever it is. Pay the fine or
Wow.
do public service or whatever that punishment is.
This day and age, you have to, because in that call out culture, he would get called out, and you got to do it. Wow.
So he's not getting pussy for a while, dude.
No,
but I'll tell you,
for a while.
I laughed when I saw that. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, he's not soft, so there you go.
Not soft.
Cheers to that guy.
Well, neither is she.
Yeah.
All I got out of that was Ben wants to run for mayor.
I don't.
Wow.
No, would you guys vote for Ben? I'd vote for Ben.
I would. Because I'm
Yeah,
responsible.
why
I know
not?
you would. I'd vote.
I'm exactly what this country needs.
Let's
Oh, wow.
not go with country.
Okay.
I was thinking a small rural city where you couldn't get into too much trouble. I think
Maybe
he'd
with a
be
population
Oh,
of
no,
a
500.
great
see-
mayor of one of those places.
Yeah.
I would not a small city. I would like to see a medium-sized city where he can actually get into small-time trouble. No trouble. Like there's no point in that.
That'd be definitely more interesting. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Vic, I've got a strong moral compass. I wouldn't get caught up in shit like this. I would save money for the city. I'm good fiscally. I'm socially responsible.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
exactly who you would want to be in office in your city.
Absolutely.
Oh man.
For the
Vote for
budget,
Ben,
for the
2020.
budget stuff, yeah.
Is this before or after Pornhub?
I don't know what you guys think I do at home. I couldn't even tell you what exclusive members have, which, by the way, I did some homework and I took a couple
Thank you.
screenshots. I could tell you now, but I couldn't tell you last week when you asked me.
Yeah, what is premiere content?
All right, hold
Pornhub?
on. Let me pull it up. Because I did go to Pornhub and I was like, what is their exclusive membership?
This is good stuff our audience wants to know.
You're doing a service, Ben.
Well, you know what?
Yeah,
Let's
that's
move on
right.
to the next thing. Let me find it.
Yeah.
And then when we're ready, I'll bring it up.
I just want to point out that if Ben was mayor, the only people that would have to worry is the city employees, because he would be cutting all of their salaries, because we know how Ben feels about overpaying for everyone.
Okay. All right. I found it. You guys ready?
Oh, we're
Yeah,
ready.
let's hear it.
Okay. So if you have a subscription to Pornhub and you're not just using it free, you can watch videos that have a higher quality than 720p.
Okay.
You can download videos. You can upload videos. You can have a favorite section where you basically will find your favorites and place them in there, and you can always go back to them. You can post comments, create playlists. You could message other members, subscribe to channels. There's no ads, and you get their exclusive content. So, and faster streaming.
And what's
So
the
there
price
are
on that?
I didn't look that up. So tune in next week. I'll look that up for you.
Yeah, check your credit card statement and let us know.
All right.
All
will
right.
do.
And also, do they have student pricing?
Wow. Student pricing.
I love that Darren's going to go find his old college ID that says 1989 on it. He's going to try to pass it off
I
as being a
saw-
college student.
I
Ben.
still have a valid student email address.
What's up?
From where?
I'm not going to tell you where. I bought it off the black market.
So it's not still. It's
So
You know what?
basic.
Darren is the youngest of all of us because he's the only one that wears a backwards baseball hat.
No, Jeff is.
I am as well.
Oh, yeah, I guess you are.
wow.
Well, you're the second youngest, Jeff.
We're both the youngest. We still got hair too.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Ben, in your
Yeah.
opinion, and I'm not saying expert opinion. I'm just saying, in just your opinion.
How dare you, Jeff.
As a human being,
Yes.
all those Pornhub perks of being an exclusive member.
Yeah.
What price do you think, or would be worth it to you to pay? I mean, is $720 really worth it? Is it worth it for all those things? What's the
Well,
pros and cons?
So you have to do the math, right?
I
and
was
if-
hoping you were going to say that.
If you watch content on your phone, you could watch 480p and it's as crystal clear as 1080p, right? The only time you can really tell the quality difference is when you're watching on a larger screen. So
Okay.
for
you
that,
zoom
I'd
in.
say no, right? And then I would ask myself, why would I need to download something onto my own computer when I can just always get back on and watch it, right? So there's a lot of those, adding a favorite section. You can add a bookmark. There's a lot of things that you could do on your own that could bypass the benefits of actually subscribing. So to me, if you were to say what would be that price, I would say probably $5.99. If it was any more than that, I wouldn't pay.
Okay.
Oh.
So Ben, did the bookmarking and all that, was that in your research that you did?
No, it's what I do for the show. So anytime I come across an article, I'll forget about it. But what I do is I bookmark it into a folder called podcasts. So when Jeff texts me in the morning and he says, "Hey, we're potting this day," I just go to that bookmark section
What he
and I send
does
him all
is
the links.
he has a notebook and he prints all of the pages out. He screenshots them and prints it out, and then he has a bookmark that he puts in the notebook that reminds
No,
him where it
I'm
is.
saying how Ben knew. I'm saying how Ben knew you could bookmark videos on Pornhub. Like, is that you found that out through your research from
No, it
reading
says it on
articles
there.
and stuff?
It says you can add favorites. So I'm assuming
yeah.
it's like a bookmark thing.
Yeah, Ben's never been to Pornhub, Vic. What do you?
Oh, I
what
believe
are you
it. I
implying,
believe it.
my friend.
I'm asking which articles he found this on because I'm interested.
I read everything. I get everything on Reddit.
Yeah.
Well done, sir.
Yahoo and Reddit.
Yeah, those are my two sources for most of my news.
Absolutely. They're dial-up
Well,
friendly, so you're good to go.
Why don't we make it a game for next week, guys? What guesses do you have for monthly fees on Pornhub? We got Ben at what, $4.99?
I would say $5.99 if it was
$5.99?
any more than that. Well, because if you think about it, again, $6 a month times 12 months, they're getting $48 a year money. You know, that's $50 per subscriber a year.
That's what
I can't imagine.
But that's what you're willing to pay. That's not what you think it is, though, right?
Exactly.
I personally don't think that it would be much more than that.
I'm going to guess $9.99.
A month?
And yeah, $9.99 a month. So
That's what I was gonna guess too.
Gosh, that's like a Netflix subscription, isn't it? Isn't Netflix? Yeah, it can't.
yeah.
And you only watch
Could
in
it
like
be
5
more
minute
than that?
increments. Jeff was a little slow on the update.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'll go $7.99.
It's a billion-dollar industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's closest without
Yep.
going over, right?
Yeah,
I'll
but they
go-
get funded with all the ads, I'm sure. Just like when you go on to Yahoo, every third article is an ad. You know.
Yeah,
So-
but when you pay, there's no ads.
well,
you
correct.
said, right?
Yeah, I would assume
So
that
they
most
gotta make that
people
up somehow.
don't pay.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to. To me, a subscriber would just have to pay for the cost of what the ads would be for them watching. You know, and I can't imagine that that's going to be $9.99 a month.
Yeah.
I'll look it up and I'll bring it out next month or next
Yeah.
weekend, and we'll let you know.
Looking forward to that. All right. Speaking of exciting new technology, Vic has
Yes.
been good job, by the way, on all those headlines.
Bravo.
I think I'm going to sit
well
back and have a
done.
glass of whiskey.
Yes. Nice. Yeah. You take a little rest because Vic's going to tell us what all the millennials are up to these days with this new Quibi thing. What's going on?
You guys are so old. Jeez.
Yes. Very old.
Didn't
Is
it just
TikTok no longer
recently
the thing,
launch?
Vic?
What's that?
Is TikTok no longer the thing?
Oh no, this isn't social media sharing. This is think more of Netflix style stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Quibi, does anybody know what it stands for? Because I had to look this up. I had no idea.
I didn't even know it was
No.
an acronym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
It's,
idea.
Short for Quick Bites. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
The reason for
disappointing, like
that-
the Rams logo.
Oh, the Rams logo.
Or just the Rams play on the field in general.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be hard to watch. So just so you know, how Ben was saying, and people won't read an article if it's over 2 minutes. This is the same concept where it's 7 to 10 minutes of content, professionally edited, professionally shot content that is on your phone and you can watch. So right now they're doing 90-day free access. That's the reason why I was able to download it and check it out. Normally it's going to be $4.99 a month. But what it is so like Liam Hemsworth and Christoph Waltz are in a movie on this platform. And the movie is going to be released one day at a time in 7 to 10 minute increments. So it's shot in that way. It's shot knowing that it's going to be released that way. There's reality shows on there. None of them are going to be over 10 minutes. They redid Punk'd from MTV. None of those episodes are going to be over 10 minutes, and it's only available on your phone. And I was a little bit skeptical because I was like, 10 minutes? Like, what can you actually put in 10 minutes, right? Like, that just seems so short. But I got to tell you, so far, so good. I mean, it's not blowing me away, but I'm very much impressed with the quality of the shows. I mean, you think you're actually watching like a real like they are real movies, but it's not low quality stuff. It's really high quality. LeBron James has I saw part of his documentary on there. It's called I Promise, and it's about his school in Ohio that he opened up. And everything's just really well done. You could take it, to the bathroom as you're taking a shit, and you can watch a whole episode of something. It's pretty brilliant when you think
Vic,
about it, because yeah,
is it all original content, or are they taking
all original content?
So they don't take like old things and then just cut it together to be under 10 minutes?
No.
Okay.
No, it's all produced for these 10-minute increments of they call them chapters. I don't even think they call them episodes, but 10-minute episodes. They're gonna they are going to be having Reno 911 is going to come out with a new season on this platform. So it's going to be 10-minute shots of Reno 911 episodes, pretty much, which I love that show. I don't know if you guys ever watched that show, but it's a brilliant show.
It's a good one.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. I like I said, I was also kind of like, but I'm very much impressed with what's on there right now, and there's going to be more content being released every day. So I'm excited to see what else comes out of this.
That sounds horrible.
It's an interesting concept. It's funny because
Darren's straight hate couch, buddy.
Yeah.
I'll stick with you on that. It sounds terrible.
My immediate reaction is it's terrible, and it's funny because my wife was all excited about it the other day and came to me and she says, "Babe, have you heard about this new Quibi thing?" And no, she says, apparently celebrities can just film themselves and it goes right onto this thing.
No, it's not that.
I was like, wow. And she was so excited. I didn't want to, shoot her down. I said, wow, that sounds like a reality TV fan's dream.
Yeah.
But she knows how I feel about reality TV, so she took it as an insult that I wasn't.
You know that's how it was intended.
Well, I mean,
Like the
no,
wife
that's
gets ultra
true.
sensitive after
Like-
being in quarantine for 3 weeks with this guy. Completely get it.
Yeah, that's true. Patience is a little thin around, like around all of our places right now. But
Oh, yeah.
so it sounds like that's not the correct definition.
No, not
of
at all.
it.
No. It's. I think Jeffrey Katzenberg is one of the founders of this, and so everything is professionally produced. I mean, it's just new content in really short bursts that you can watch anytime, anywhere, and you don't have to sit there for what was it, 3 hours for Netflix on the what was that movie called that they just released a few months ago?
Oh, The Irishman. Yeah.
Yes.
I could see media going in this direction because especially with Besa, what do your kids watch? Do they watch TV or do they watch YouTube?
They watch YouTube.
YouTube. I mean, it's YouTube, and I mean, I don't know that all those the length of all those shows, but it seems like with the attention span, and we already know. I mean, it started with the MTV generation where our attention spans were shorter, and so they had to feed us something faster and keep us entertained, and now it's gotten even shorter where now we're doing shows in 10-minute increments, like.
But if it's a good show, why only broadcast 10 minutes of it? I can't name one thing that's good, that I enjoy, that I want less of. I don't want a 10-minute show.
That's the funny thing to me is where it's kind of
That's a good point, Darren.
counterintuitive to like Netflix. Netflix model is just give the entire season all at once, right? Yeah. But then you have your HBOs and your networks and your stuff that still release things 1 week at a time. So this thing is going with that, but in 10-minute increments. I mean, I don't know if 10 minutes is long enough to hook people. I'm curious.
Maybe they can strike a deal with Quibi and MLB, because MLB needs to shorten their shit.
Well, Darren, that brings up a point, right? People talk about baseball and they say, "Hey, we need to speed the game up, so we're going to put a pitch clock on there. We're going to, I think this upcoming season, relief pitchers have to see at least 3 batters. They're trying to quicken the game, but yet if you watch a college football game, it's 4 hours, or if you watch an NFL game, it's 3 hours and 45 minutes. I think that if we continue at this pace, baseball isn't going to be the only one that's going to be hurting. Because, I mean, already, and I've mentioned it before on the show, without having access to Dodger games and without having access to a lot of the Laker games, what do? I go on YouTube and I watch a 10-minute clip of every basket that the Lakers scored. And so, I don't get it in the context in which it was played, but I get to see every play.
Yeah.
And so there are a lot of people that just choose to do that because they're doing other things. And so I just think as society continues to speed up, that people aren't going to have the time to be able to sit down and watch a 3-hour game. It's the same point we were talking with kids. If you try to show them the movies that we grew up on, E.T., The Goonies, where it takes you 25 minutes to get, enthralled into that movie, these kids, they lose interest because they just don't have that attention span. So I think as parents, I think it's prudent that we teach our children, that they have to sit and they have to wait so that they can appreciate things as they come. and I think that the easy thing to do is what we do. And I know, Steph and I have been doing it a lot more during quarantine is like, okay, here's our phone. We just need a 5-minute break from your shit, But, I do think that some parents use it as a crutch where it's like, here's the phone and you can have it and play for 2 hours. So, I think a part of that goes to us, parents, that we need to teach our children, that we ourselves need to just, be able to enjoy things as they happen and watch a 2-hour game or watch a 2-hour movie and not be reluctant to watch anything that's over 10 minutes.
Ben Garcia for mayor, La Mirada,
Ben for
2020.
mayor. That's right.
That's right.
I'd vote if I was a resident, my friend.
Fair and balanced, buddy. Fair and balanced.
That's your ticket right there. Good stuff. Anything else on Quibi?
No. I'm enjoying it.
Cool. So it already launched. So it's already
2 or 3 days ago. Yeah.
And it's free?
It's free for 90 days right now.
Okay, gotcha.
But you only need 2 days to watch it.
And then what's the price after the 90 days?
$4.99.
Okay. Worth it to you
There's
so
no
far?
way Pornhub is more than that. Because you can watch all you can, on Pornhub.
Yeah. Pornhub's got to be more than $4.99.
Yeah, it's got to be.
You don't think so, Ben?
I don't think it is, dude. I think it's going to be right around that price.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
I love it.
I'm looking forward to next week, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Best Oscar goes to Ben.
Ben knows.
For
He just doesn't
pretending
wanna
like
say
he
it.
doesn't know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, man.
It's $4.98.
Let's play Gilligan's Quarantine, shall we? So this is how this is going to work. We thought, since we're all stuck in our quarantines, everybody's kind of done a version of this, but I thought it'd be fun to take the characters of Gilligan's Island, right? And we're all the Gilligans of our team, all right? And then you have to pick a skipper. You have to pick, like a leader of your team, someone who has a strong, leadership skill set. You have to pick a power couple, like the Howells. And then you have to pick a movie star. You have to pick a professor or a doctor or, somebody, smart. And then a Marianne. We're just going to go with a hot chick or guy. You can pick a guy, too, if you want to pick a guy. But somebody hot, then that'll be the Marianne character. And so you got to fill all these categories. And we'll do a round robin, pick our teams, and, maybe we'll throw these up on Twitter, and everybody could vote on whose Gilligan's quarantine is the best. Sound like a plan,
Awesome.
gentlemen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have your picks? How
hopefully.
about we start with the oldest, and we'll go Vic. Who are you going with for your skipper?
I'm going to go with Bear Grylls
Oh,
as my
wow!
skipper.
I thought we were the skipper.
No,
I didn't pick
We're
one.
Gilligan.
You didn't read the
Fuck
next
it. I
text.
picked myself.
We changed it to we're the Gilligan.
We're the
It's more
Gilligans.
fun to pick a skipper. Genius, Vic. How did I not think of that?
Yeah, I didn't think that far out. So that's actually a great one.
Oh, I'm surviving.
That is a great one.
Well, that only works if you're out in the wilderness. If you're quarantining at home, that doesn't matter.
I'd still want that guy on my team. I feel like if things
I'm
went
surviving this
full
quarantine.
apocalypse, I want that guy around. It's
he can-
in case.
Yeah.
All right.
We never have to run out. We'll never run out of food. He knows how to cook everything. He can purify my water. He can do everything. I'm surviving.
He drinks his own urine, dude.
That's right.
I'm already
Does he?
voting for your team. All right. Let's go with the next oldest. Is it you or who is it? Ben or Darren? Who's next?
It's Darren.
Darren?
Am I the only? All right.
Yeah. Who's your
My skipper, I'm gonna go one up from Victor. I'm gonna pick Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Dang it!
Yes.
You mean this guy? Wait, hold on.
You gotta
Shoot.
scratch him off your list, buddy.
That was gonna be mine.
He is determined to get out of any situation whatsoever. So, yeah, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, it is.
Darn it. I was going to try and screen share, but apparently my connection didn't work. That was going to be mine. I agree,
Sucker.
man. He is.
Oh, he's great.
I can't wait until he runs for president. I would vote
So
for him.
here's the problem with your logic. If you're in quarantine and food becomes an issue, that guy is going to be hungrier than anybody, and he will kick everybody's ass and eat it first.
That
So
is
I don't think that's a
solid
good
argument.
I don't think that's a good plan.
Well, he can go in the backyard and eat some banana leaves and coconuts.
That's dang it. You make a good point, Ben. All right, Ben, who's your skipper?
Well, before I came up with that argument, it was going to be Phil Jackson, just because the Zen Master will get you through anything and win.
That's a good one. I mean, he's a good.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see Ben and the rest of his crew doing the triangle offense inside the house. That's going to be beautiful.
You know, Phil Jackson is a well-read person. He would say, hey, Ben, here's your personality. Here's where you can improve yourself. And so I would spend my quarantine making myself a better person.
That would be awesome. I like
Cool.
that pick.
I'm surprised you didn't go Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick doesn't have a good personality. Personally,
Yeah.
you know how I am. I don't think that Bill and I would get along very well.
You guys wouldn't. Although I don't know.
That would be great
You've gotten
TV.
more grizzled. You're not Bill Belichick
TV-wise,
grizzled,
yes.
but you're more grizzled.
Let's say that I'm closer to Gronkowski than I am to Belichick.
Yeah.
And that's oil and vinegar, buddy. Or oil and water.
Oh man. Well, shoot. Now I don't have a skipper. I didn't write a backup because I thought The Rock was such a solid choice. You know what? Oh, crap. All right. I got to think about it.
We'll come back to you, Jeff. We'll come back.
why don't you go-
We'll come back. All right.
Why don't you just take Joe Madden?
Unproven.
Because he's going to bring you to the promised land, remember? Or Sean McVay.
We'll see. We'll see. Oh, Sean McVay's a good one.
No, he's not.
He's a little too. No, I'm not ready for. I like the idea of going with a coach, though. I mean, that's like a solid choice for a skipper.
Sean McVay wouldn't utilize you enough.
Well, we know Darren.
He would
He would sit you.
Yeah.
Well, Darren and Sean couldn't be in the same house because they would fight over the hair gel. So.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's so true.
Me and McVay, we would clash.
Very, very true. Very true.
You guys aren't even up during the same hours.
I
He's
got
up
it.
from
I
3
got-
in the morning until noon, and you wake up at noon.
I got my skipper.
Yeah, I
skipper.
do.
Peyton Manning.
All right, go
I'd
ahead.
go with Peyton Manning. I think he
Okay,
would
your-
be a solid choice. I
your
don't
team's
think
terrible.
he eats too much. he's led teams to championships. He's definitely a leader as a quarterback.
Yeah, you should have picked Let's Get Back
I
to You,
don't think
Jeff.
he'll eat too much. Like to Ben's point, which I think is a solid point that you got to worry about with The Rock. I think Vic actually, truthfully, wins that round. But I'm going with Peyton Manning just because off the top of my head, that's the best I could come up with. I think that's good.
All right.
All right.
I'm going
All
with
right.
Peyton Manning. All right. Power couple. Let's go power couple. And you know what? We're going to go reverse order because, that's not fair that my choice got taken. So I'm going first this time. I'm going with J-Lo and A-Rod. And my reasoning is, J-Lo is, there's, no problem.
She can sing
no
for you guys.
problem having J-Lo
Oh, yeah.
around, right? Yeah. But A-Rod, I feel like he's that guy that he can get. If we ran out of toilet paper and we said, A-Rod, we're out of toilet paper, like he's the kind of guy I would think would have toilet paper there within a half an hour, 20 minutes tops. 20 minutes, half an hour. I think, with his kind of shadiness a little bit, he's not afraid to, do what needs to be done to get things accomplished. So I think having A-Rod around, he's savvy. He's been on Shark Tank, for crying out loud. So the guy knows his stuff. I'm going with J-Lo and A-Rod as my power couple.
All right.
Ben, who's your power couple? Let me guess.
I would go.
Kim and Kanye.
Go ahead. That is not. It's not Kim and Kanye. You know what's funny is, and I was talking to you guys before the show. It was like I had somebody for every category except for this one, and the main reason why I was struggling with it is because I feel like the term power couple is immediately pretentious, and
is
I am the
very
least pretentious person in the world.
Well, least.
I'm the least. I'm the least pretentious. Listen. Hey, I'm real, baby. I'm real. So, as I was thinking about, the only couple that I could think of would be Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, because they're close to my age. I truthfully think that I could chill with those people and I wouldn't want to kill them at the end of the fucking weekend. Where
I feel like you'd have a good time with them. Yeah,
I would. And you know what? When you're in quarantine, it's all about just being able to enjoy your company. So if I can broaden myself intellectually by talking with Phil Jackson and then be able to take breaks from reading and hang out with Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, I think I'm in good company.
Well, there you
Hey
go.
Ben,
All right.
do you still think you can direct Titanic better than?
Again, never said better. I just said I wouldn't have fucked it up. And I still maintain that I can do that.
Just checking.
Man. I don't know if that's pretentious as much as like totally not modest. Ben is not modest.
What do you think pretentious is?
I guess
Oh
you
my
could
gosh.
be right. Pretentious is a little more smug though. Ben's not
I
smug
agree.
about it. He's just
I agree.
he's just you'd ask him and be Mr. Reality. Darren Besa, what's your power couple?
Well, I don't think you can get much
you
more
pick yourself?
powerful.
You and Jen?
Ooh.
Yeah, that was second on my list, by the way. But I don't really think you can get more powerful than mine. It would be former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama.
But here's
That is
the
very
deal,
powerful.
right? So
They
you're
led
quarantined
the
with them.
United States.
They are. But
Yeah.
here's my question to you, Darren, is that, okay, so you're quarantined indoors with them where you can't leave for 2 months. What the hell do you think you have in common with those two? Because you're different ages. Like,
Ben's
what are you
worried
going to
about the
talk
social
about?
aspect.
Why is that? Why, I know. Like, why does it have? Why does that matter?
Well, because here's the thing, right? Have you ever been to a party
If
where
you-
you have nothing in common with anybody? Like, it's the worst thing ever. You
Yeah,
can't
but it has
wait
nothing to
go
do
home.
with age.
It doesn't. But where age comes into it is that when you are the same age or a similar age with somebody, you have similar experiences.
Yeah.
Right? It's like when you're training somebody at work and you make a reference to Zach Morris's cell phone and they look at you and they go, "Who's Zach Morris?" Right? It's, at our age, we went through September 11th. We've been through certain things. We have certain things in common just simply because of our age, right? So you're not going to have that in common when you have somebody that's older like a Barack Obama, right? Like, I think it would be fascinating to go have beers with Barack Obama for like one long afternoon and get drunk and just get to know the guy. But to hang out with him and his wife for 2 consecutive months in that house, I think would be the most uncomfortable thing in the world. Where, again,
I
that's
would
why
love
I
it.
chose somebody that was a little bit more at my age, where it's
Yeah.
like, we know the same movies. We're not going to know the same people, but, I guarantee you that within 2 months, Ashton and Millis and I would be really good friends, and then I would get to know the rest of the fucking crew.
Well, whether it be 2.5 years or 3 years, you get to know Barack Obama, and all of a sudden you're at a campfire, and he starts telling me a little bit about Area 51 and all these secrets that we always wanted to know as an American citizen.
That would
Secret
be
Time will
Service
break
is there,
down.
baby. Hey, again, Secret Service. Now you need to feed Secret Service, and they got to use toilet paper. It
Oh,
ain't gonna
come
work.
on. Hey,
No, that's not how the game works.
Mila and
It is
Ashton
how it
Levine
works.
also.
Oh, man.
No.
All right, Vic, who's your power couple?
I'm going with Bill and Melania Gates.
Oh,
That's who
Oh,
I'm staying.
yeah.
Yeah. Bill is a smart guy, and if anything technical goes wrong, I'm sure he knows a lot about
restart
circuit
the
boards
router.
and computers.
He can-
He could totally
he can
unplug it and plug
unplug
it back
and
in.
plug it back
You know
in.
what's funny?
Yeah.
I bet you that he doesn't know how to do that.
Oh, I bet you he does. I guarantee you he does.
Well, no,
Guarantee.
let me give an example, right? So I'm an electrical engineer, right? And so I know the ins
Can
and
you
outs
say that a
of
little more pretentiously?
yeah.
Like,
and when it comes to doing things, say, around the house, I know how it's supposed to be done, but what I don't have is the know-how, and I don't have the tools, right? Like, electricians, they have the tricks on being able to easily route wire behind the walls without having to disturb the drywall, right? Like, I don't know how to do that, and it has nothing to do with not knowing how to wire something in that house, right? So I guess where I'm going with that is that, Bill Gates was about developing, the software to be able to do all these things. And so I think that it would be hilarious if, like, his Wi-Fi goes out in his house and he's like, I don't know how to fix it. So he calls somebody in to fix it. Like, I would almost be willing to bet you, like, that's the case.
yeah.
No, I don't even think it's close to that.
I'm sure the
to start
router
a
he knows.
Okay, that's an easy one. But, like, I'm like setting up something. I don't know. I bet you
you
that there's
gotta.
stuff.
I'm sure there is, but you got to understand when he was building his company, he wasn't building it now where you could, almost anybody can do. It was at a time when you had to know what you were doing to be able to do what he did. Yeah. And let's be honest, if you become really good friends with him during the quarantine and you get out, I mean, the guy is rich and powerful. I mean, he would just be fun to hang out with afterwards. So
that's true.
I would totally go with Bill and Melania Gates.
Good point. I bet he doesn't know how to set his background image on Zoom.
So. And you know what? He's age appropriate for Vic, so they'd have a lot in common.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is
very
true.
True.
That is very true.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going. Our movie star, Vic. That's to you.
Oh Jesus! Wait. So movie star, back to me. Who did I pick? Gal Gadot. Sorry.
Oh,
Gal Gadot, because it's Wonder Woman. Who doesn't want Wonder Woman to hang out with Wonder Woman for 2 months?
Yeah. No explanation
that's
necessary.
It. Yeah, no explanation needed. That's it. Next.
Besa, who's your movie star?
My movie star is Kaylee Cuoco from Big Bang Theory.
Oh, all right.
Penny! Oh, come on.
Really?
I vehemently disagree with you that's a
No.
What's the thinking here? Has she been in a movie, by the way? Or are you just going celebrity?
I'm sure she is.
Celebrity.
Movie star or celebrity of some sort.
Sure.
I'm sure she's been in some movie, yeah.
Kaylee
she's on Big Bang Theory. Come on.
Is she like, what's the thing?
This is the problem. You haven't watched the Big Bang Theory. She's your typical girl next door type of girl, and she's hot.
That's more Marianne.
No. She's my movie star. I think I got somebody better than my hot chick.
All right.
Who's your Marianne? Yeah.
Huh.
Kaylee Cuoco for me.
All right.
I kept it simple.
Well, your team's going to lose.
Yeah.
Nope. You got yourself as a skipper. Come on.
Well, I would have nominated myself, but you didn't let me, so that's when I got Phil Jackson.
Benjamin, who's your movie star?
Well, it was a fight between two, and because both are still available, I'm going to select Scarlett Johansson.
Oh.
Because I think that she is diabolical.
Wow.
I mean, she's not bad to look at. Yeah, that's true. Good point.
And that's it. Nothing else. Nothing else.
That's all that needs to be said, right? Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
I like.
Plus, she can kick your ass.
My movie star, I am going with. I wanted to go with someone who just seemed kind of down to earth, cool to hang out with. And let's be honest, she drove a bus like nobody ever has. Sandra Bullock. I'm going with Sandra Bullock.
Oh, wow.
You know, she seems to me like she would be more fun to hang out with than maybe a lot of the others. She seems down to earth. I think we'd.
Well, the whole point, and maybe I'm missing the point. But like
the point is whatever you.
The movie star is
it's not your point.
Not
it's
like the girl that you would get along with. It's like the girl that you like look at and say that's who I want to be with, right? The Marianne is the girl that you're like that's the girl that I want to be cool, the one I want to be able to hang out with.
That's a different game, but that's fine if that's
that's your choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, why not both?
All that's necessary is it's a movie star. And by
because
the way,
I have
what's
another
wrong
one
with Sandra
for
Bullock?
Marianne that I think is gonna, knock the pants off of you guys.
All right. Well, let's go with our before we get to Marianne. Let's go with our professor, and for doctor. Let me see if I hope my screen share works. Does my screen share work? I'm going with. Nope, it's not working. So never mind. I'm going with Dr. Danny Garcia from Garcia Chiropractic.
Oh,
Be sure to visit Garcia Chiropractic for all your back chiropractic needs.
He's still working through this entire thing.
Is
he's
he
wearing
really?
a mask.
See?
He has.
Well done, sir.
Wow,
well
that's
done.
a
You know
trooper.
what? I'll tell you what. It's a good American, just not ingenuity, but just stick-to-itiveness. And like he owns a small business. There are people that rely on him for daily medical care, and so he's there for them. And his not assistant, but his front desk person comes in and sanitizes between patients. He wears a mask. He's very responsible for this whole thing, and he's just an all-around good dude, man. So if you have chiropractic needs, go see Danny Garcia. That's my brother, and I'm giving him a big shout out.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go. All right. Well,
I like it.
I guess maybe I can't use him in my quarantine if he's still working. But if he decides to quarantine, there's a spot welcome for him on Team Jeff.
That's a good one, Jeff. I didn't even think about that. It's fucked up, isn't it?
Oh, your own blood.
Brother.
You didn't think about it.
Not cool. Benjamin, who's your doctor? Professor, doctor, whatever.
Elon Musk.
Oh.
All right.
That's a good one.
You know, as just being an engineer and knowing what his background is, and the fact that he's into Tesla, and you know, just the ins and outs of that, I think would be just fascinating to be able to sit down, you know, for 2 straight months and be able to pick his brain and get to know Elon. And to be honest with you, I think that if anything came about, you know, he's got the type of brain that would think outside the box. And I know that's something that I lack as a person. I'm very regimented in my thinking. And so to have somebody on my team that would be able to think outside the box would be totally valuable.
Yeah. Nice.
All right.
Yeah, I like
Besa,
that.
your professor, your doctor.
I went with a more fictional route. I went with Dr. Henry Jones Jr., a.k.a. Indiana Jones.
You're going to die in the apocalypse, Darren.
No. He's going to be great to have conversations with at the campfire on my island if I'm stuck on there for 3+ years.
If we were going fictional, that's a great choice. For leader, I was actually going to go Harrison Ford from Air Force One. I feel like he's a solid choice in the leadership role. But
he was horrible in that.
Are you kidding? He's a badass.
Oh no, I disagree.
You didn't know what you're talking about. All right, Vic.
Indy.
Who's your? Indy. That's a good choice.
Yeah, why not?
Sure. Vic, your professor.
I'm going to go with a childhood hero of mine. I'm going to go with Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Oh. He was around when you were a kid?
The show was. Yeah, he had a show on, I
He
don't know
was
if it
still
was
young when
PBS or...
Dick was around.
I thought you were
He
going
was
to
in
say
his
Captain
teens.
Kangaroo.
The crocodile hunter.
No, yeah. Yeah, Bill Nye the Science Guy, and I mean, I listen to his podcast now. He's just a really intelligent guy. He knows a lot about a lot of stuff, and I actually think I would love talking to him.
Really?
For a long, long time. Yeah, I think I could pick his brain for days.
Huh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Does he cuss a lot on his podcast?
No.
No? Okay. Maybe
No.
I'm thinking of somebody else.
You're thinking of Bob Saget, probably. I don't
No,
know.
it's not
Which
Bob
is
Saget.
so funny that Bob Saget was known for being like,
Yeah.
child friendly. And you
That's
watch
right,
him
yeah.
stand up and you're like, who the hell is this guy?
Nope. Not at all. Not at all.
Nope.
No, it wasn't Bob.
Good choices. All right. Vic, final round. Who is your Marianne, a.k.a.
This isn't the final round. We still have to do Gilligan.
We're the Gilligan.
No,
We
you're
are Gilligan.
Oh, we're Gilligan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get this fucking game.
Yeah. You
didn't read the
read
text.
the first text. You didn't read the second one. Your attention span's too short. Hey, Ben, have you heard of Quibi? It'd be great.
No, listen, I was too busy reading articles, doing research for the show. I'm the only one that does it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Me and Vic. Sorry, Vic. I didn't mean to throw you under the bus.
No, you're fine.
Good job, gentlemen.
Vic, who is your Marianne, a.k.a. your hot chick? Or dude?
Or
Wow.
dude, yeah.
Hey, it's not.
Please
It's
pick a dude.
2020. It could be a dude if you want a dude around. Not, whatever. No
It's
judging.
Justin Bieber,
Yeah.
isn't it, Vic?
Yeah. It's going to be Liam No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, but now we know Vic's number one.
No, it's gonna be I find her adorable. I think she's really cute. I think she's a perfect Marianne in this situation, at least for me personally. Nina Dobrev. I would love to take her on an island with me.
I couldn't even tell you who that was.
Yeah, who is that?
Yeah. Who's that?
Just go ahead and Google it.
What's her
Okay.
name?
Nina Dobrev.
Nina Dobrev. All right.
Let me see if I can show something on the camera here. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Next.
We gotta
Since
figure
nobody knows.
out the screen sharing thing. I had it for a second, but it didn't work. All right, Besa, who's your Marianne?
My Marianne, who I think is hot, who is my I can't see it, Ben. Okay.
Oh. What is
She's
she
cute,
from, Vic?
Where's she from? Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up her internet movie database really quick.
As the cool kids call it, IMDb.
That's right.
Fucking Vic.
Let me pull up my Vimeo account really quick. I was afraid of mispronouncing Quibi too, because I'm like, if it's Quick Bites, shouldn't it be Quibi? But everybody calls it Quibi. Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I hope you're wrong. You know what? Nobody that listens to the show would know whether you were or not.
Yeah.
that is very, very true. She was in Triple X, The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
I'll watch that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what you're thinking it is, Ben.
She's been in a whole bunch of like other small movies too.
Well, that is a totally
Yeah.
random
That
selection.
is a
but
random
she's very
selection.
cute.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Good job.
All
Good
right.
job, Vic.
Good job.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
So mine is Kate Upton.
Oh, yeah. Great.
See,
I-
now
yeah.
Kate to
Great.
me would be...
I've always had a thing for Kate Upton.
She's beautiful.
It hasn't gone away. She's beautiful. She knows how to dance. She knows how to do the Dougie. So, yeah, Kate Upton is my choice.
She knows how to do.
Have you ever seen that video where she does the Dougie?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's just Well, I mean, if you want somebody to do the Dougie for you in quarantine, she's the
Oh.
one.
I'd have it on
I
repeat.
prefer a lap dance.
Ben, who's your Marianne?
Well, so there was two of them, and because they're both still available, I'm going to go with Emmy Rossum from Shameless.
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah,
you
she was my
are.
number
Okay.
2.
Yeah, Vic.
Yeah, she was my number 2.
I'm surprised you didn't go with her. She was your number 2, huh?
I just felt, I was thinking more like, this is the way I was thinking. I know Ben has his way of thinking about, this whole game, but my, Marianne to me was supposed to be like a little bit more cute, not so. That's more like the movie star for me.
Yeah.
pick.
Well,
more sexual.
I thought
Yeah.
ScarJo was definitely more the movie star.
No, that is true too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my other one, and I know Jeff isn't going to select her, so I'll just tell you my number 2 is Shailene Woodley. I don't know if you guys have watched anything with her in it, but I
She's
I
pretty
find
too,
her
yeah.
beautiful.
Where is she from?
She's been in a ton of movies. She was just in a recent movie called Adrift.
I think I know who she is.
Yeah.
Really? I wouldn't peg you to be a Shailene
I think she's-
Woodley fan.
I think she's a plain Jane. She's not hot. She's cute. She's
Okay.
relatable.
Okay.
Like I
Yeah.
felt she would be a
Yeah.
good number 2. But when Emmy Rossum was available, you can't go wrong with Emmy Rossum as being your number 1.
You really
Marianne.
can't.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Good stuff. All right, is that to me?
Yeah.
I am going
We're off to you, yeah.
for my Marianne. I'm going Margot Robbie.
Again,
Okay.
that's totally movie star. But yeah, I mean, if you can get her as your
I guess I wasn't
Marianne.
thinking in that terms, but you're right. There
Right.
is the hot and then the
Have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yet?
I have.
I have not.
And yes.
It's
Neither have I.
it's a good movie. I just watched that and Ford versus Ferrari in the last 2 nights. And if you guys haven't seen either of those 2 movies, go out there and watch them. They're both really great movies.
Yeah.
Nice.
Once Upon a Time's good. I do want to see that Ford versus Ferrari though. It looks really
Me
good.
too.
It's fantastic.
Ben, you're watching a lot of movies. I'm impressed.
Yeah, Steph and I have run out of TV shows to watch. Married at First Sight is in a hiatus right now. We're waiting for the next episode. So, in the meantime, we've been watching movies, and it's been wonderful. It's my favorite time of day. I get to sit down with my wife when the kids are asleep. We have a glass of beer or a glass of whiskey, and we watch a movie together.
Nice.
Last night, I built a fire in the fireplace. I'll tell you what, man, quarantine could be a hell of a lot worse. I had cookies today.
Oh,
So, hey, listen.
So
the
jealous.
reason why this house is going is because I've got the greatest wife in the entire world.
that is
Well
adorable.
said, sir. Well said.
done. Are you going to play this segment for her?
Of course I am.
Yeah.
It's going to be the only segment he plays.
Yeah, the Pornhub section won't get
The
played,
Pornhub
but this
section
one
is
will be.
gone.
No, you're a smart man.
Good lists, guys. Good lists. So we'll post these on Twitter. People can vote on them. Who had the best list? I don't know. I think Vic might have the edge on this one.
I don't know.
That was a pretty solid list. I feel like.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I didn't know the one girl, but after I saw the picture, I think you nailed it. Vic, before we get out of here, you wanted to mention John Krasinski's YouTube show.
Yeah, Ben had talked also about earlier that most of the news is coronavirus, stuff, and it's the great thing about this show is that it's really short, it's really fast, it's a little bit longer than 10 minutes though, so I hope it holds your attention. It just goes around and shows like the good things that are happening around in the world. And people send him stuff from all over the world, and it's a great way to end your week. It's once a week. It'll totally uplift you. Have some tissues next to you if you're a crier. And he did an interview in his first episode with Michael Scott, and it was awesome. And the second one, there's a surprise at the end, which you'll understand why I enjoyed it. You guys probably won't as much, but it's amazing. It's really good. It's just a feel good 15 minutes of stuff that's going on in the world, so you can put the coronavirus bad stuff somewhere else for while you're watching this show. So if you get a chance, please check it out. It's called The Good News Network. It's John Krasinski, and it's on YouTube.
Good plug.
Awesome.
I like it.
Yeah.
I did see the segment with Steve Carell, which kind of got some notoriety because it's obviously the two of them reuniting, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And Steve Carell mentioned, by the way, update. Last week we talked about what shows to binge watch. My wife and I were looking for a new show. Yeah, we went back and just were watching The Office over again because
well done, sir.
You can't go wrong with that.
Good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It really is.
She actually may or may not be in there watching episodes right now because she always wants to get to when Jim and Pam get together. Finally, she's like,
okay.
how many more episodes before they kiss? How many more episodes before they get together? It's so good though.
It's really good.
But Steve Carell saying that one of his favorite bits was the plasma TV at his house.
So funny, dude.
It barely moves.
It's so good. Ben, I know you have no idea what we're talking about, but gosh
None.
dang it, it's a good show.
I'll get Star Wars
So
references
good.
now, but this I don't get.
Ben, watch. You know what? I'm going to pick a few episodes for you to watch. Will you watch them if I pick a few episodes?
You tell me what season and episode
right.
number, and I'll watch them.
Yeah. You skip season 1, but season 2, a couple episodes in, it hits its stride, and it's just all uphill. It just gets better and better and better until Steve Carell leaves, and then you can go back and watch from the beginning. But man, it's good. Love that show. All right, I'll get you some episodes, Ben. You'll watch them. Give us a review. We got to get out of here, gents. We are gone way long. We are Guys in Shorts. You also should check out. Are the King's Realm? Are they still doing shows? I feel bad because I didn't plug them for so long because I kept forgetting. But if you like the Kings, even though they're not playing, the King's Realm is a great podcast. Even if they're not doing shows, go back and listen to some. They're always great. The Definitive 5, though, they're doing shows. And by they, I mean me and Dan and Jason. And if you like to list things in a top 5 order and you like movies, you could do a lot worse than the Definitive 5. So check that podcast out. And, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Guys in Shorts Pod. You can leave a voicemail for us, 562-450-3356. Review us wherever you're listening, Apple Podcasts or wherever else. And subscribe as well. And share the show with all your friends. And check us out on YouTube if you haven't already done so. We're posting the video feed that we do. And it's just another way to digest the Guys in... Not going to finish that one. That's not the way to say it. To enjoy Guys in Short, to watch Guys in. Never mind. It's just another way to enjoy the show. There we go.
We should have rethought the entire name of the franchise, huh?
That's what we picked. That's
very true.
Everything on the table, that's what we picked.
For Victor Costello, Ben Garcia, and Darren Besa, I'm Jeff Wilson. Stay healthy, people.